Hey everybody, this is Bill Smith from Boston SEO Services. Today we're going to talk a little bit about, is it worth it to invest in SEO for your company? So there's a couple things that we can do. There's a couple tools we can use to look at this. We want to make sure that an SEO campaign is going to have a good return on investment over time. So it does take time for SEO to kick in. We can research the actual search terms and see search volumes and have a estimate on how much potential traffic you can have, but then time wise, to estimate how long it's going to take, we can research your own website to see what it's ranking for. So one of the first tools that you can have access to is called Google Keyword Planner. So if you just Googled Keyword Planner into Google, you would see this first result: keyword research and strategy. This tool's made for AdWords, but it also has all the search volumes that Google will let you see. So hold on, let me just log into my account here. So I'm logged in. You will need a Google account to get access to Keyword Planner, but that's free. You don't have to have an AdWords account set up. So we're just going to start with find new keywords and get research volume. So we're going to search for new keywords, this one here, and you get the search volume. So I'm just going to pretend today that we're a moving company in Boston. So this would be for a local search. If we were doing a national search, we wouldn't have the actual modifier as a city. If we had a moving company that was national, we just put moving company and look at that. So we're just going to hit get ideas down here. So we can see moving companies Boston gets about 2,900 searches a month, but there's also other ones, right? So we have moving company Boston. We can add that to the plan. You can hit add to plan here. Boston movers, that seems relevant. Movers Boston MA, another 480. Moving to Boston, I don't think would be a good one. Best movers, that might be a good one. Cheap movers, if you wanted to go that way, I'm not going to put it in there. I don't want to be the cheap moving company. Moving services. So we can see all these monthly search volumes here. I'm sorry, I didn't show you this, but down this line here is the monthly search volume. This is the keyword, and then this is the suggested bid. So this is the average cost per click if you were going to use AdWords. We're just talking about trying to get organic traffic to the website. Local movers, we can add that. That's 210. So we'll just start with those. Actually, I like this one too. Boston movers rates. So that's somebody looking for prices on moving, right? And then we could even go like we could do moving quotes, right? We can use quotes or pricing, so we can change this idea up. And so there's another 20. We'll just put that in there because and when someone's looking for a quote, it has higher buyer intent. So we'll just go with those. So next thing I like to do is I want to download this plan, and I just want to do some, I'm just going to download it as a spreadsheet, do some quick calculations to see if this is something that would be worth going for. So I'm going to download this plan. I'm going to download it as a Excel CSV. You could just do this with a calculator also. I just like to do it this way. So let me just pop this up for you for a second. This is what that spreadsheet's going to look like. You don't have to get too concerned about a lot of this stuff. The things we're concerned about really is the average monthly searches right here. This column. So I'll just highlight it actually. I'll just make it yellow. Blue because it's already there. So we're going to use that one, average monthly searches, and then we're looking at the keyword. But we already know that. I mean, just so we know the keywords are there. So these are the keywords. But really, the main one we're looking at is the average monthly searches. So we'll just do like a quick Excel formula. I mean, you can just add these up with your calculator too, but I just like to make it easy for myself, and then just grab these. So all totaled up, these search terms equal 11,000, over 11,000 searches a month. So that's the total searches. We'll just call that total searches. Now, even though it's 11,000 searches a month, so statistically, the #1 spot, even if you were #1 in Google on the organic search results, so let's just look at this. So if we typed in Movers Boston, so these are ads, right? These are paid here. You got these 3 paid ads. This we could, the map section, and then this is more of the organic listings. So this #1 spot, even though it's #1 there in these listings, it gets about 37% of the clicks, and then it just goes down from there all the way to the bottom. There's more ads here, but all the way to the bottom where that gets 2%. So I like to keep it in the middle. I like to be conservative, pretty conservative. I don't want to say #1. That's what we're aiming for. But so we'll say, instead of saying 37%, we'll just cut that in half. We'll just say we'll call it 18%. So let's do that as a click through. That would be our click through rate, is what we call the 18%. Let me just pull this up again. So we're going to use 18% as the click through rate. So we'll do CTR, we'll call that, and that's 18%. So then this will be visitors to website. So this is how many people out of those 11,000 searches, if you were in the middle of the road on page 1 for all of those, how many clicks to the website. So we're just going to call this visitors, and this will give us a number. We'll just multiply these, right? We'll just make this the product of these two. So out of the 11,000 searches, there's about almost 2,000 visitors to the website if you were there for all those search terms. So even when there's visitors to the website, that still doesn't mean they're going to be customers. So we can call this conversion. This would be like one start of a conversion, right? If somebody contacts you through the website, it doesn't mean you're going to get the sale, but it did convert into a contact where you could talk to someone. So conversion rate, again, we want to keep it, just to be kind of conservative on the numbers. We'll just say 3%, and we'll do the same thing. So these are contacts. That doesn't say contacts. So we'll do the same thing again. We'll make that the product. And these are things you can control, right? So this conversion you can control by increasing the conversion rate on your website, and that's by testing and maybe changing your call to action and things like that. So conversion is something you can control. The traffic, you can control how many people you get out of this, how many results you show up out of this 11,000. Closer to the top, you're going to get more clicks, and then conversion. So those are two factors that we can kind of work on. Conversion is taking that traffic that you already have and just maximizing it, right? So out of those 11,000 monthly searches, really you'd be looking at 59 contacts or conversions. So that would be conversions, we'll just call it. And then even at that point, then it starts, it's hard, it's not hard, but to go from here, and then it's with like moving or any type of service business, it comes down to the salesperson on the other end of the line. So once that happens, you have pricing and just the caller's experience with the person that's selling. So that can vary widely with how many sales you're gonna get out of it. But we'll just say I get people telling me 50% a lot. So 50%, and then we won't call that. Yeah, we'll just call that sales. We'll call both of these sales, I guess. Closed. I'll call this closed for this. We'll call this sales calls. So now out of that 59, it's 50%. And the thing why I do it this way is you can play with these numbers after, and you can change your, you can do a little testing. So you can say, well, what if I increase my conversion rate, right? So what if I increase my conversion rate to 5%? So then it's going to change everything down the line, right? Click-through rate. So what if I was the top for every search term? We'll just put 30%. So you can see where it would change everything. So I'll just highlight these as the ones you can change. This one, and then sales calls. That will be like our sales conversion. So now let's go back to where we were. What did I call this? 18% conversion. 3%, and sales calls will leave there. So now we look at, for moving, it may be just a one-time thing, but lifetime value. So we take the average, right? So the average lifetime value of a customer. So the average move, might be, it may be, say, $2,500. So now we have, $2,500, and this is monthly. So then, because if your website's not showing up for any of these, then it will be additional monthly income. So we'll just multiply these again. So this would be additional monthly income. So it would be an additional monthly income. We'll put that green just so it looks like money, right? So okay, well, there's money. So additional monthly income of $74,000. Now this isn't you're not guaranteed to make this money. There's a lot of variables along the line, but it's a way to at least get an idea instead of going in blindly. And you can use this also for if you were going to do a pay-per-click campaign. So you're just looking at your investment. How much does it cost? Even if it was a pay-per-click campaign, how much does it cost me to get one customer? So you can look at it that way. So that's it. And then time-wise, so this is kind of what I like to do with a client to make sure that it's going to make sense for them to invest in this. Then we look at investment, which investment can vary depending on competition and the amount of resources needed to move your website up to number one. The other part, the time frame wise, we really weren't going to get into today, but I'll just go like we can use like a tool like SEMrush, which is a search engine optimization tool, where we can look at you could plug in your own website here. So let's just say we'll just use one of these websites here. I'm just going to go to page 2 just so we can. So I'll use this Aviv. Right, I'm just going to plug this in, and you can use SEMrush. There's a free amount of searches allowed, and they kind of limit like keywords you can see and stuff. But let's just pretend we're Aviv Movers, and we'll hit search, and then we can kind of look at where we are with organic positions already. Now this tool isn't perfect. A lot of these tools aren't perfect, but it's something that gives us a good idea. So we can see if this was our website, back in 2011, we were doing really good. This is kind of a graph showing over time. But we want to look at top organic keywords for this website. So we can look here. And we can see, we can kind of list them by position and then see if there's any of those ones that we were looking at. So we were looking at Boston stuff, but we see Brighton in there. Movers and Packers Boston. So they're on page 1 for that. That's low search volume, but let's look at moving and storage Boston. So 210 searches. They're number 9. But let's start looking at some of these ones that are on page 2. So long distance movers. So that's 140 searches. Boston moving companies Boston. That's a good one. That's always a good one. 2,900. So to push that up, it's already on page 2. It's close. So it's still, the closer you get to page 1, also to the top, the more resources you need, and the slower it moves up. But at least you're already close. I don't see the big one there. So Boston movers, so 22, but it's better than being not found at all for it, right? So we have some stuff that we can kind of look at and go. It's still not a definite on time, but we can see that we're, for some of these we're close. So that, time wise, we can get into. That's the time that it takes. There's a lot of other factors that go into it, so I can't get into it right now on this one, but we could go over it at another time. So thanks for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you had got good use out of this spreadsheet. If you want a copy of the spreadsheet, I can just I can kind of just take all this stuff out and leave this here for the formulas. I mean, the formulas are simple, but if you want a copy, I can give it to you so you can use it to calculate your own. Just shoot me a message and I'll send it over to you. All right, have a good day.